Developments tonight about Senator Obama's relationship with Radical Weather Underground co-founder Bill Ayers. For the National Review, Stanley, first tell me, you've gone through some new documents. What are the documents you've gone through?
Well, Greta, there was a small foundation in Chicago called the Chicago Annenberg Challenge. This foundation was meant to improve public schools in Chicago. Barack Obama was the chairman of the board, and Bill Ayers was the co-head of the other operating branch of this foundation. And all the files of that foundation are in a library in Chicago, and I've just been looking at some of those files.
What did you learn from the files, and why did you only look at them? Why did you only start looking at them, I guess, today?
Well, I tried to look at the files about a week or two ago, and at first the library promised me that I could get in and see those files, but at the last minute, just as I was getting ready to fly to Chicago for the first time, I got a message from the library saying that the collection was closed. And then I had a kind of a tussle with the library, and they finally refused to let me in. I appealed to the public to put pressure on the library to open up these records, and they did. And this was the first day that we were allowed in to see these records.
Did you learn anything of any great moment or of any importance to you in going through these records?
Well, I did, Greta. We already knew, even before we went in today, that Barack Obama had to have a significant working relationship with Bill Ayers because they each headed a wing of this foundation. What we found today is that the relationship is even closer than we might have guessed, in the sense that Bill Ayers, who technically was not a member of the board of directors, in fact seems to have attended a number of board of directors meetings in the first year. He was treated as an ex officio member of that board. Really, Bill Ayers was the founder of this foundation. He may well have chosen Barack Obama to be on the board of directors. They seem to have had a close working relationship at those board of directors meetings. So this is clearly something more than Bill Ayers just being a guy who lives in Barack Obama's neighborhood.
All right, you use the term seem to have a closer relationship. Can you be any more specific than that? That's the number one question, because I'm not sure exactly what that means. It may mean that they went to a lot of board meetings together and there are a lot of other people there. And secondly, is there any suggestion or any place that you think that Senator Obama hasn't been straight with the people on the nature of the relationship?
Right. Well, Greta, this is a very small foundation. Bill Ayers was the founding member, along with two others, but Ayers was the main force. And we found out today that the first three board members, one of them was Obama. So when they were in these meetings, this wasn't just a board with some people who sort of motor in and spend a little bit of time and then go back to their job. This was a foundation being built from scratch by a small group of people, and Ayers and Barack Obama were together in the core group. And the meetings to set everything up, to plan, to figure out who to give the money to. Ayers and Obama were working very closely on the board at that time. And there are some questions about where the money went. And another problem with this foundation is that it failed ultimately to improve education in the public schools. That might have something to do with where Ayers and Obama were directing the money. And I can say more about that, but just to get to your other question, Greta, I don't think Senator Obama has been completely straight with the American people. It's clear that there was a working relationship between the two, and you have to remember that in 1995, when these papers showing them both at the board were there, Barack Obama was running for his first political office, and he bragged on this position of being the chairman of this board. It looks as though Bill Ayers had to have had a lot to do with giving Barack Obama that position. And then Barack Obama was on a board that directed a lot of money toward Bill Ayers' own educational groups and the groups of Ayers' radical friends. So it looks a little bit like there's a you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours relationship here.
Is it fair to say, and of course we're running short on time as luck would have it, that you just got the papers today and that you're sort of at the beginning of looking at this, and that it raises questions? You need to dig into more information, and we'd like to hear more answers from Senator Obama, but we can't draw total 100% conclusions at this point. Is that a fair description?
Well, it's true that we can't draw 100% conclusions, but there's a great deal of material already has been public on this that the media just hasn't been paying attention to. And it points in some very bad directions. It's already very clear that the foundation failed. And so, while we can't draw 100% conclusions, what's already public and has been ignored looks really bad, and what we've seen today seems to reinforce some of our worst fears.
All right, Stanley, well, if you'll do me a favor, keep going on this, come back, because I'm enormously curious, and as you dig deeper, I'd like to know, and of course I'd love to hear what Senator Obama ultimately has to say about this as well. Thank you, sir.